Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy.
If you have a puppy question you need help with, join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at the Puppy Academy.
This is where we tackle your toughest training challenges and guide new puppy parents on how to make puppyhood easy.
If you're ready for more in-depth puppy help right now, check out our online school at thepuppyacademy.com to have us personally guide you through every step of puppyhood and in raising a happy, well-mannered pup.
We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show.
Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is
episode
189. And
Woo!
You guys can ask your questions. You can direct message us. You can, like on our stories, we have prompts, things like that. But if you're live here today, we like to prioritize you guys. So ask us your puppy questions, include the age and breed of your puppy, and we will prioritize you guys for showing up. Now, last week we had a question that I couldn't get to, and I am looking for that as we speak. In the meantime, can you find
I thought
it?
they reposted it for us.
Reposted it?
Yeah, I thought they put it on the paper again for us.
Did they? I don't think so. Kimberly would always do that kind of stuff.
That's true.
We miss Kimberly. Kimberly, if you're watching, we miss you. All right, I'm going to find it.
Watching, actually.
Here, find.
All right,
find
let's
it.
do a new one. Lord of the Wise. I like that. Been reaching out to trainers. CT, no response. Boston Terrier, high energy and prey drive. No dog park, but even doggy daycare can see him being too much on their own. Help on their own cam.
Let me reread that. Sorry.
Yes, please.
So
I read it word for word, but maybe you can paraphrase it.
Boston Terrier, yeah, high energy, high prey drive. Terriers, they want to kill things. Boston Terrier equals crazy. If you look it up in the dictionary, it actually shows a pair of crazy eyes, and it says nutso.
In my whole career, there's only one dog ever I haven't been able to teach it down to. It's a Boston Terrier.
They're really fun too. Fun, playful.
I gave them 3 sessions to try to teach it. I couldn't do it. They're the most stubborn breed I've ever met.
Yeah. I don't have age. So let's assume it's like under 6 months. You know, a lot of this is genetic. They really are Lord of the Wise. They really are, there's a genetic component here. So for me, I would really focus on a lot of calming techniques. And so you can still have fun with this puppy. You can do your fetch and work on drop it and all that stuff. But let's make sure we're doing a lot of slower work. So if the puppy has food drive, if not, just, you know, look up how to build a little bit of food drive. But go super slow. So it's like house, that's what we call crate. Going house, pause. Piece of food. Pause. Good. Piece of food. Let's go. Like you really slow everything down and make them wait. And you do the same sequence over and over and over again for like 5 minutes. I don't know that I need the age, but let's say 16 weeks old, you can do 10 minutes, the same sequence over and over again. The other thing is stopping at all thresholds, using blocking, teaching place. If your puppy's under 6 months, you really need to check out our online school. Do you have any other tips?
Crate training.
Crate training.
You gotta do crate training. Your puppy's already planning every step out, about 50 steps ahead. You're gonna teach him how to plan one step, your step. That's why she's doing all those little pauses. So he starts having a check-in with you. And he's not already planning out 4 hours of his day from the second he walks out of the crate.
Yeah.
That's Boston life.
I am
Oh,
still.
you got comfy? While she's looking for a question or whatever she's looking for, I want to just kind of show what I've been doing with Lily here. So Lily's one of our anxious dogs. She actually doesn't care for me that much. She doesn't like men in general. She does well with one of our trainers, but I don't work with her that often. So when I first got her, she was very shaky. She was overstimulated. And I just started petting her, but I felt her anxiety raise and her almost like push into my body more, pulling my affection, because petting, just a straight pet is affection. So when I stopped that and I started kind of doing this deep pressure massage on her spine, I felt her leaning into me, but not for affection, but for comfort, for training, for understanding. And then I kind of shifted my hand to the front, started petting her, and I'm sure you guys have probably saw at one point, she started licking me just like here.
Yeah.
So I kind of pulled that hand back to her right shoulder, did a gentle massage on her right shoulder blade, or like right at the joint, and I'm using my hand to kind of push her tongue away from my hand, And I'm not saying no, I'm not doing any punishment or anything. I'm just redirecting her. And then after shifting back to the chest, good. And being able to get my pets, I even got her to lay down and settle. And for about 2 or 3 minutes, she wasn't shaking. That's a gradual progression towards calm for a dog who is a bit more anxious, who's having trouble settling. So anyone with nervous dogs at home, this is a technique you can always play with. It's just it's taking it one step at a time and seeing how certain things land. You find the question? I can't talk anymore. I ran out of stuff to say.
I accidentally deleted it, and now I'm in deleted, and I can't find it either. So I'm at a loss.
Really did not like
I'm
that.
so sorry. If you're here, please ask your question again. I remember it was about a barking dog, and I think it was barking at everything. But man, I need more details. All right, I think we have. What does it say? Okay, I got to log on.
On Instagram.
Okay.
The puppy has started randomly barking at the TV. Drives me insane. How do I stop the barking?
3.
Overstimulated dog, guys. Overstimulated dog. All right. So when your puppy is out of the crate, are they on leash? Are they free roaming? Are they running? Oops, sorry. I almost got my mic on. Can you untangle her, please?
Oh, she's good. She's
Thank
good.
you. Dog is free roaming. They're probably pacing back and forth. They're probably amping themselves up. They're getting themselves excited. You can make that training, guys. It might be too much to start training with that program on with the dogs in the room with your dog.
Yeah.
I would have the TV off. I'd start working to make sure I can recall them. Recall is come is recall. It's the same thing. I want to make sure I can gain focus for my dog when I'm in a controlled setting. And when that TV turns on and you start recalling your dog away from the barking situation and they're unable to, it just means they're not ready for that yet. You might even have to hold off on putting dog programs on the TV if you can't work your dog down from it.
Yep.
When you start training to do it, it's all your basics. It's your relationship building exercise, which is your come. You should be practicing 25 to 50 repetitions so your dog learns how to come to you. Even if your partner is walking into the kitchen where the treats are, grabbing his oatmeal out of the cabinet, can your dog look at that open cabinet? You say, puppy, come, and they break focus from that cabinet, look at you, and come for the food? If so, that's the kind of stuff you need to eventually be able to recall them away from the barking situation. Or even just give a let's go, which is teaching them to move away from it, follow your side, and follow the rhythm of your body, pulling them away from the bark. Wait or move far enough away until they stop barking, they stop looking to the TV, which might even be in a different room, and then in that space, we call it being below threshold because they're not overstimulated anymore. You work them until they're settled in that state of mind. You turn the corner. There's a dog on the TV. They go to bark again. You turn the corner again to move away from it. You work them down until you can turn that corner. They can look at that TV, break away, and still follow your food. And you'll work them in that space until you can get a step closer. You want to add?
Yeah, I would also add in a pet corrector. So
pet corrector.
A pet corrector squirts air. You can pick it up at like a PetSmart or a Petco usually, and it's a can of air, and I think it has like a little Freon in it, and it just goes. It makes like the Caesar Milan noise, and introduce it just as a sound, first.
Like
and you go after alertness. Like try not to wait till the dog is full on bark, bark, bark. So you're going to wait till you just get like, just normal puppy and then some sort of hone in. So it could be the ears go alert towards something. It could be the mouth is open and it closes, stiffness of the body. Those are those signs of arousal where they are about to bark. They're thinking about barking. They're getting ready to bark. That's where you introduce the noise. Now, your dog could not care about it at all. It might care about it a lot and then like swoop between your feet or under the table. Make sure your dog is on leash when you do this. Because what you're going to do is you're going to introduce it and see what your puppy does.
You're fine.
I did it much softer. She's
sensitive. She was a humper at one point.
Introduce it, see what your puppy does. Make sure you pause to see if it landed, to see if it interrupted the cycle of arousal. And so you pause. Hopefully your puppy is like, what is that? When you see that, that's when you do let's go. And then you do everything he said. If you don't do the foundation, the foundation of work to help your puppy know what to do, not just what not to do, but what to do, the pet corrector will eventually fail. So you do need both sides of the coin. It is not fair to just do what not to do. You need to also do what to do, okay?
You're teaching them right from wrong when you practice what they're supposed to do, so the time that you use the pet corrector, they have something to default to, which is the correct thing that you've done more repetitions of.
Vin says, how do I teach drop to my 3-month-old Mini Aussie? Okay.
Mini Aussie, Bethany Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, first of all, make sure you have a toy that the dog likes. I personally like the stuffies without any stuff. So it's like those long, thin, cloth toys that don't have any stuffing in them. I would get ones without a squeaker if your dog is already very driven. So if anybody needs to know why toys squeak, it's because it's supposed to sound like an animal, because you're basically practicing hunting. So if your dog already is shredding toys, ripping them apart, shaking them like a maniac, stop getting toys with squeakers, because you're basically letting them practice.
You're teaching prey drive.
Yeah,
you're teaching how to get prey drive.
More than prey drive. And
keep teaching.
So it's nature. It's a nature show, everybody. So
I'm surprised you didn't say your dog is a predator. That's like your favorite line.
Your dog is an apex predator. People.
Oh, okay. Apex, do that one.
So anyway, that's one thing. But if I need to build drive or use it as a distraction, that's usually when I'll use a squeaker. So if you need to build drive, get the ones with squeakers. But otherwise, no squeaks. And yes, I have a certain type that I like, and I'll cut the squeakers out and re-sew them back. So anyway, you need to have room for your hands to be on both sides of the tug toy. Don't use a ball unless you get a ball on a rope. If your dog already loves the ball, fine. Get a ball on a rope. Stop using just a ball if your dog doesn't know how to drop it. Okay, so you got hands on both sides, right? You are going to give it to your dog. Your dog can bite in the middle. And stop letting go of it, okay? So you're gonna keep a hold of it, and you're gonna tug with them. And you're gonna be very gentle. Because if they're young, they've still got baby teeth, okay? You be very gentle. But you're gonna move. Why are you gonna move? Why are you moving? Because prey moves. So the more you move, usually, the less your dog feels the need to rip it out of your hands. So you're moving, okay? You're moving. This is you're on. It's telling your dog that the play is on, right? Keep it low too. Do not hold it above your dog's spine. The moment you do that, they're more likely to rip it out of their mouths, which is not good for their mouths. It's hard on their back and their neck. And then also, it makes them jump up on you. It's how you build drive. If I want to build drive with a dog, I'm I'm pulling it away, right?
It's like you're teasing them.
Yeah.
Pull away, get back.
And they will absolutely start jumping on you like crazy. So you get a stool, get a chair, sit on a step, do whatever you gotta do. If you can't, squat or stand or sit on the floor because your dog is a maniac, do whatever you need to do to make sure you're not holding it up too high. Okay, so you're low, you're moving. And your dog, you wait for your dog to get a good grip. And then you're moving. If your dog, re-grips, pause, let them re-grip, move it again, okay? So you're moving, then you're gonna take your elbows, you're gonna tuck them into your rib cage, and you're gonna fold the toy, eat up as much of the toy as you can, and you're just gonna freeze and wait the dog out. This is the most valuable way to do it. Be boring. It's a possum. You're playing possum. The animal's dead, and so it's a natural instinct of dogs to let go. That's what we're doing. We're not adding food into it to get your dog to drop it. Although some dogs have been so conditioned to continue to fight with their owners for the toy, we do need to add food. But hopefully you don't need to. I'm not going to go into all the benefits of not adding food for fetch, but it's actually better not to, because it's an instinct you're tapping into where the prey is done for and they just get bored and they let go and you go, good. And then if your dog has a really solid sit, you can say sit, you can even use the toy sit. Break, give it back to him, the game is game is off. Game is on, boom, 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 game is off. And then you toss it a foot, right? And the dog is riding the leash. Pick up the leash if you need to, gently pull them to you to tug again. So this is how the game goes. You're not throwing it. Even if they're good at it, stop throwing it. You need to make the game about you and the dog, not about the prey, not about the toy. So stop throwing it if you don't have a good drop it. You need to like do a warm up of 10 drop its or outs, whatever you want to say, before you're throwing it, if your dog is even good at that. And then only mix in a few of those, because it's not good on the joints on really young puppies anyway, and it amps them up as well. And so keep it small. And you can let your dog celebrate. You can like give it to them and they can like strut around for a second, but make sure you have a leash on them, so when you say come, and then they like go to the corner to chew on what they've caught, you can just, guide them back to you. Say come, they can chew on it next to you for a few seconds before you pick it up again and go again. And then it's like, okay, enough, we're all done, or play over, whatever you want to say. Have an ending word, like all done, and the toy, they go do some play duration, or they go to crate and relax, house and relax, and you put the toy away. I know all you asked was drop it. I do understand that. But that is not enough, because we are ruining our puppies and ruining our dogs by throwing the toy. Like it's ruining dogs. It's actually ruining them physically as well as mentally. There is so much more to it than that. Hunting is such a psychological thing, and it's so important that we utilize that properly with our animals. Speech done. You did give the floor over to me. I don't know if you remember that.
I did, but
It's 1:20, guys.
I love this. I have such a good one, because the way she's asking this is not the way we normally get it asked.
Oh, cool.
Tips to avoid littermate syndrome. Avoid, not fix. Avoid means she doesn't have it yet.
Separate.
Yeah, you have two separate crate rooms. You have two separate, maybe not two separate play rooms, but the dogs are coming out of the crates at separate times. If they're getting play together, it might be once a day, it might be once every couple days, but they're on two separate training, walk, everything programs, crate training, everything.
I personally don't think you can avoid littermate syndrome if you get two littermates. That's my personal professional opinion. I do think there is an exception if you have worked with multiple dogs of this breed. Maybe you're a breeder and you've worked with so many dynamics before. I think that there might be an exception there. You could be a trainer. You could be a sport dog trainer, so sometimes you really like a sire, or something like that, and so you have, kids of certain things, so you might have a mixture or something like that. There might be an exception there. If this is your first time doing it, especially, I don't think
It's not a fun way to own two dogs. It's not a fun way to start ownership.
It wouldn't happen for me, even though I'm a trainer. I have a family. I don't set dogs up in a way where I'm going to show them or breed them. So they would get littermate syndrome no matter what I did. They would.
The more you can separate, the better. We have two dogs here that went through our entire in-store training program and did full-on grad school as well. So they've done 6 months of training with us. And here with complete separation, 100% separation, we still had 10% littermate syndrome. They couldn't hear the other one come out of crate, even 3 months in, without whining a little bit.
But they're okay. It's not...
Yeah, and when I spoke to the owners at home, they had more obviously, but they were able to make it manageable through the training. So
now,
you can avoid a good chunk of it, but there's still going to be some there. You have to learn how to manage it more than anything else.
Now for me, the breed really matters. So for me...
Shepherds, you're done.
For me, this is where littermate syndrome becomes dangerous. We're talking Pomeranians, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Two dogs I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
No, they were Shepherds.
Oh, okay. So for me, littermate syndrome is very scary if you go on off-leash hikes, because you got prey drive, because they will listen to each other, before they do you when it comes to prey or play. So those are the two things, and it won't happen their first 8 months. It'll happen, between that 8-month and 2-year mark.
Where they hit adolescence to decide what kind of dog they want to be.
And that's when, pack drive kicks in. And sometimes, even the best trainers in the world, and I mean that because I've been to seminars and I've seen these things. The best trainers in the world, things happen and bad things, and they can't control pack drive. And that's not even just littermates. Sometimes that's like a pack that lives in a home as well. And littermates, is even more. And so for me, my advice would be, do your best to do the separate training like he was talking about. And my advice would be, do not trust them 1 inch through adolescence. That would be my advice.
Which is about till a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half too. And do not take them both off leash at the same time, ever.
Unless you want to do some sprinting. If you want to do some sprinting, take them off leash together. She'll be chasing after you.
Oh, chasing after you.
You'll be sprinting after
But no, because you put an animal or person or something potentially in danger. And so through adolescence, I would just be so strict, even if I really trusted them, even if they were really, really good, sweet dogs. They'll be sweet until they see a little innocent bunny rabbit.
So now, Bethany, what if she hasn't yet gotten them? So tips to avoid. If she hasn't gotten them and she's in the process of thinking about still getting them, what would your suggestion be?
Well, I would say just get one. That would be my suggestion. But anyway, just to finish my thought is that once you get through adolescence and you really see how they've matured, then you can kind of play around with, what you've got. Can you take one without the other and one is okay at home? And how much, can you recall them off of each other in the backyard, or I don't know if you have like an acre, how far away can they be and be playing with each other, or can they be hyper-focused on a squirrel and you recall them off, start playing with that on your property when they're adults before you can expect it off property. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly your situation, but those are all the things that you have to get through.
You need to find a schedule, a structured schedule, and you need to follow it like it was a Bible.
Yeah.
Like the second coming. That is your Bible for your pups.
But everything is starting separate as much as possible. And not just separate, but also like one is in crate and the other one can be worked. One of them is in another room and one of them can be worked. Both of those things actually. Okay.
It will take some work. You have some work ahead of you.
Yeah. Did you have another question on TikTok that you liked?
I have one more, but
because we came in at like 106, so we can go over a little bit.
This is a really quick one. Would you recommend neutering a 6-month Goldendoodle only if there was severe behavioral issues that were originating from his testicles? For any other reason? No, because medically, almost every single vet I've ever spoken to in the last 2 years, for doodles, like almost any doodle is a year minimum.
Agreed. We're like,
do we end it there or do we answer another one? Oh, we should
agreed.
answer another one.
Let's just move on.
Right. Say this
And
stuff.
then move on.
Lily says agreed. Agreed.
Okay.
This is the chillest dog you've had in so long.
Can't believe you've had her this whole time.
So she's my buddy. She laid down and she started snuggling, so like I said, she's
Oh, look, she's like
there.
lovingly
Hey, don't touch my
chewing
dog.
on my
Don't touch
finger. Spoiling her. I love papillons.
Do you know she can skateboard? This is her skateboard.
Yeah, I love papillons. Okay, thank you. Also, what is, this is Jumama. I'm not sure that's how you meant it though.
What is it? What is that? What'd you say?
It's Jumama.
Okay.
TikTok question?
Wait, I was about to read
Oh, I
Jumama.
thought you were just calling her out.
Jumama. Thank you. Also, what's the goal for meeting new people? My pup loves people. They always want to pet him, but he gets so excited. Stop letting strangers pet your dog. I didn't mean to yell at you. Sorry.
People don't like to hear that.
But he gets so excited, I can't even get him to sit. Well, that's because you're letting the environment, you're making the environment more important than you. That's why I yelled at you, I'm sorry. So everybody does this, not everybody, but they do before they learn their lesson, and then they go and do it with their next dog. So when you're raising a puppy, you're supposed to be raising him to care about you and the family. And then you read something that says you're supposed to socialize your puppy.
With 500 dogs in 6 months.
And people accidentally think that means meet everybody on a walk, and that is not what that means. And then what happens is your puppy doesn't care about you on the walk anymore. They're just looking for their next meal ticket. and it becomes very problematic, it's actually what leads to frustration and then leads to reactivity down the line. It's very problematic. Every person you see, depending on the age of your puppy, should be a come into a sit and food or a turn, let's go, walk away and try to get focused back on you.
The question I like to ask people is, when you walk your dog, do you want them walking for you, or do you want them walking in search of others besides you? Because when you teach your puppy to acknowledge people, that everyone that walks up, every dog they say hi to, when that happens, they become more valuable than you. You're for training, you're for obedience, you're for affection, and you have all the things already that you know you need to do. None of these people are going to follow that, which makes them more fun than you. But you know you're doing this for the long term, even if you need a short-term loss of not being able to give this much affection. You're building your dog for 5 years from now, not just 5 days.
And if you want your dog to be able to go places with you and hang out with you, and then maybe have someone say hi to them when they pass by at a cafe, that's never gonna happen when they're a puppy. They get to say hi to people and they're in a sit and they're like this and then they're jumping out. No, you need to train for focus on yourself first, and then in several months when they're fully mature, and maybe if they're calmer through adolescence at some point, but usually it's through maturity, then they can sit and watch passerbys because they don't think that they're going to interact with them. They come up and go, oh, hey, what a nice dog. Oh, thanks. Oh, can I pet your dog? Oh, sorry, no, we're training. And they move on.
And your puppy sees that, looks to you, and gets treated for it. They get treated to acknowledge you.
And then they learn that that's the norm. Then they can say hi to someone every once in a while. You know what I mean? So that's the progression.
Anyone who's seen a service animal on the street, who's ever had an experience with one, that's what I do. I train service animals. We start service animals as early as 8 weeks old, learning calm obedience, and by about 12 weeks, that's when we're getting dogs out in the stroller if they're not fully vaccinated, or on the ground if they are. They don't say hi to people or dogs. They do exactly what she just said. When they hit 16 weeks, then they start walking a little closer to other animals. Then they start walking a little closer to other animals, and when they show a little bit of interest, then it's bubble out a little bit, work to settle them down, and then keep on going. You're constantly introducing a small level of distraction and working them down from that overexcitement. Once they have a balanced state of mind, then you guys can keep walking again. But we start early with this, guys. It's not that you need to be from 12 to 16 weeks having your dog say hi to every dog. It's not going to help them be more social.
They already are social.
A higher chance of creating reactivity.
Yep, exactly. Do your TikTok real quick, and then we're gonna say see ya.
I don't think I had another one.
We've lots on TikTok.
Yeah. She said.
Tips for recall.
I only see the neuter one.
Okay, really?
I only have 2 on here.
Can you read it to us, Ricky?
I have 2. First one is tips for recall. I have a 5-month-old Great Pyrenees, and he has a horrible recall.
Oh,
repetitions and leash. You need leash and you need repetitions.
Yeah, great.
You want to take it?
Great Pyrenees. I have tough experience. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have tough experiences with like the last 3 adolescents, and I know 5 months is like only just getting into adolescence. Tough experiences with Great Pyrenees, and it's all with recall. It's all with recall.
They're lazy breeds.
They're like, what? And then like you tug the leash, and they're like, that's so funny. They tug the leash. It's so funny.
Because you have no leverage. They're way stronger than you.
They're even at 5 months old. They're like, is that you? Did you just try to correct me? That was so cute. Even at 5 months old. And so I would get a long line, 20-foot long line in the backyard, try to build a little bit of food drive, get their favorite treat. And I would, on a 5-month-old, I would actually give a good tug and release of the leash. And then, and the dog's gonna go, huh? And I'm gonna go, come yeah! Like it's my little kid or something.
And it's the greatest thing this dog has ever done in its whole life.
And it's gonna be some piece of like boiled chicken. And then I'm going to ignore them for a while and walk around the yard until they get distracted again, or maybe put a piece of food on the ground.
You didn't mention that when that dog starts coming to you for that piece of boiled chicken, it's going to take them 30 seconds to stumble over to you.
That's more when they get to be like 8, 9 months. At 5 months, it might be faster.
I don't know.
That would
lazy ones.
That would be my suggestion. Do you have anything to add?
Honestly, the only time The best recall I've ever had is when people were hand feeding all of their kibble, like even for the dog's meals.
The condition.
It made the dog more focused on their hand, and it was the most, I'm gonna say woke because I don't have another word for it. It was the most woke dog of this breed that had like this level of caliber of training because they hand fed all of its meals for virtually its whole life. So it looked at their hands like it had the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It knew it wasn't getting free food in a bowl, which they're probably very happy about, but they made them work for everything.
I do that with Shiba Inus because they're also really
Shiba
hard.
too.
They're also really hard to like get their attention and build that focus with sometimes. And so yeah, that makes sense as well. Yeah, cool. Did you say there's another one? Could we do it quickly?
That's on you guys.
Read it and try it. We'll try it quick.
Okay, but how do I even get her to walk? 12-week-old Frenchie just sits when I try to take her.
It's a little young to walk. I'm not saying like you couldn't walk her. I'd probably be walking a 12-week-old, but
No, I wouldn't be walking, I'd be practicing recall.
yeah,
As my walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to my driveway or my living room, not driveway if it's if other dogs are able to touch it. 12 weeks probably isn't fully vaccinated yet. Go off what your vet says. We're not vets, so we
Yeah,
can't say that.
I do
But
a booster, but
I know. I realized that we're getting into gray territory. Follow what your vet says. We're not vets. Do what they say. I would start in my living room though. Backyard, front yard, eventually driveway, sidewalk just in front of my house, and I'm practicing recall just till I have follower mode. As in, like, I can turn my back, walk a few steps, and they're automatically following me. Yes, they have a leash on.
Yes,
they're
a
holding
leash.
You gotta have a leash.
Yeah.
And when they go into follower mode, I add in a few sits off
Yeah.
the come, and then a few breaks, and then maybe I'll bring the place cot out and have them jump on the dog bed.
slow down.
Sorry, I'm
So
just
it's
so
just
excited for this
it's
question.
just you go back a few steps, piece of food, turn, and walk a couple steps. Back a few.
Let's go work.
They don't know what that means. Back a few steps, piece of food, turn, walk a few steps. That's all you're doing till you build up a little bit of focus, and they need to be hungry. And you should check out our online school.
Thank you.
Go
Wait
to
for it.
thepuppyacademy.com, and we will see you all next week.
That's what I was
Thank
going to
you.
tie into my let's go work bet.
Bye, everybody. You were taking forever.
Wait, you got to close up in a second.
Bye. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.